It's that time of the year. Your vacation is coming up. You can already hear the beach waves, feel the warm breeze, relax, and think about work. You really, really want it all to work out while you're away. Monday.com gives you and the team that peace of mind. When all work is on one platform and everyone's in sync, things just flow. Wherever you are, tap the banner to go to Monday.com.
On today's Smart 7, Starmer welcomes European leaders, COVID inquiry issues first report, and much more. It's Friday, 19th of July. It's National Retainer Day, and happy birthday, Benedict Cumberbatch.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news.
Thursday saw Keir Starmer host 45 European leaders at Churchill's former residence Blenheim Palace for a European Political Community Summit. The PM opened the event and reiterated the UK's support for Ukraine as one of the key priorities for Europe.
Our first task here today is to confirm our steadfast support for Ukraine, to unite once again behind those values that we cherish, and to say we will face down aggression on this continent together.
Ukrainian President Zelensky spoke and was keen to shore up relations with European partners as concern grows in Ukraine about what might happen if Donald Trump wins the American election.
We have maintained unity in Europe, which means that Putin has missed his primary target. He has failed to create division in Europe.
Starmer also announced a new approach to migration with £84 million of funding for projects across Africa and the Middle East designed to help ease the issues that create so many refugees. He also pledges closer cooperation with European allies and a focus on tackling criminal gangs. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper says it's important that Europe works together.
There's a real warmth here at Blenheim, not just from the sunshine. This is about resetting the UK's relationship with our nearest neighbours.
The COVID inquiry issued its first report on Thursday. The 217-page document says that the UK government and those of the devolved nations failed their citizens. Baroness Hallett chaired the inquiry, and this is the first of 9 reports that will look at all aspects of the pandemic, which is estimated to have resulted in almost 250,000 deaths from COVID-19. She says the government prepared for the wrong kind of pandemic.
The UK was ill prepared for dealing with a pandemic. The processes, planning and policy failed the citizens of all 4 nations. There were serious errors on the part of the state and serious flaws in our civil emergency systems.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer offered his sympathies to the bereaved and pledged that his government will learn the lessons from the inquiry and act swiftly to improve systems. Naomi Fulop from the COVID-19 Bereaved Families for Justice group says the lack of mass testing and PPE contributed to the failure and that the new health secretary needs to move quickly.
We are calling for Wes Streeting in his first 100 days to conduct a cross-government audit of preparedness for the next pandemic, which, as we've all said, is inevitable.
Thursday was a busy day with the Post Office inquiry also back in session. It had 2 heavyweight witnesses, both former Postal Affairs ministers in the witness chair. First was Labour's Pat McFadden, who is now Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, and he was asked about the first warnings about the Horizon IT system back in 2009. He said he did query the issue with the Post Office, but wishes that he had pushed harder for answers. Lib Dem leader Sir Ed Davey apologised for refusing to meet with the man who helped to uncover the scandal, former sub-postmaster, the now Sir Alan Bates. He said he did ask questions as Post Office Minister and was blaming management for not telling the truth, although he held back from naming individuals.
Post Office Limited, as a body, were misleading sheikhs and ministers. Who was responsible within Post Office Limited is quite difficult for me to know. One assumes that it was the senior executives.
US President Joe Biden is isolating after contracting COVID, but it looks increasingly likely that he may not be the Democrats' nominee by the time their convention rolls around in mid-August. New polling puts him 5 points behind Trump, and even Barack Obama is suggesting Biden may need to step aside. Meanwhile, Thursday night saw the Republican convention wrap up in Milwaukee. It was supposed to be a calmer, more peaceful event with a focus on unity after Donald's brush with death, but it didn't seem like most of the speakers got the message. Trump spoke for over an hour, recounting the story of the assassination attempt and saying God was on his side. Then he formally accepted the nomination as the Republican candidate.
So tonight, With faith and devotion, I proudly accept your nomination for President of the United States. Thank you.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, Formula One heads to Hungary and why you should never drink limoncello with Danny Dyer. Right after this.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Welcome back. This weekend sees the Formula One roadshow hit Hungary, but there was a certain amount of anxiety on Thursday after a severe storm saw the pit lane flooded. The weather is predicted to improve over the weekend, and it's set to be a tightly contested race as Mercedes continue to push for more points. Now that we're at the halfway point in the season, driver announcements for 2025 are starting to be made, and the US Haas team has shaken things up. Nico Hülkenberg is leaving to be replaced by British teenager Oliver Bearman, and Thursday saw the announcement that longtime Haas driver Kevin Magnussen is also out for 2025. He says he's not sure what he'll be doing next year.
I feel very much like this is, my family. I've been an integral part of their whole journey in Formula One. So let's see. There might be opportunities here if in a different role if nothing else happens.
If you haven't seen Danny Dyer's new comedy series, you're in for a bit of a treat. It's called Mr. Big Stuff and sees the former EastEnders Hardman hamming it up as one of two wildly different brothers. The other brother is played by Ryan Sampson, who you may know from Plebs and Brassic, and he's also written the show. The two not brothers popped up with Chris Evans on Virgin and told the touching story of how they first met on the set of the ITV comedy.
We did an episode of Plebs together. We had an absolutely mad week. Me and the guys on Plebs, we had a little game going between us, which was called Do You Dare Do, or Danny Dyer Does Dare Do. So when he turned up, we had to match whatever he did. He turns up and he goes, limoncellos for everyone.
Yeah, and it got quite messy, but anyway.
Yes, it got quite messy. That was the beginning of a night, which then ended up giving me a Bell's palsy.
Way back in 1988, the world was first introduced to the manic genius of Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice. If you can't remember that far back, the Tim Burton-directed movie saw a newly deceased couple hire a demon to scare new inhabitants out of the house they used to live in, but things quickly got out of hand. Now there's a sequel which is called Beetlejuice, and it's due to hit cinemas in September. Michael Keaton is back as the weirdly lovable demon, along with Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara, while Jenna Ortega, Monica Bellucci and Willem Dafoe also join the cast. Just remember, only ever say Beetlejuice twice or else.
Where the afterlife is so random.
You're that thing from my dream. Really more nightmare material.
Confronting the unknown, conquering your fears. There's nothing harder.
Beetlejuice!
What the f***?
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
The living room is where you make life's most beautiful memories. But your sofa shouldn't be the one remembering them. The new life-resistant, high-performance furniture collection from Ashley is designed to withstand all the spills, slip-ups, and muddy paws that come with the best parts of life. Ashley high-performance sofas and recliners are soft, on-trend, and easy to clean. Shop the high-performance furniture in-store or online at ashley.com. Ashley, for the love of home.